Hey, it's Heather, and welcome to Adventures in Gardening. So I am just back from an 11-day vacation with my family, with the whole family. It was a big, we decided in 2021, a year ago, we decided that 2022 was going to be a big vacation for us. My in-laws both celebrated a big birthday, and my mister and me, well, we celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. And so we thought, what better way to celebrate than to take everyone on a vacation? All 7 of us. So here I am back after 11 days being out of the garden, and I am useless. I mean, I just don't know where to start. And plus the fact that it has rained like every day. So, Piper, you need to get down from there. Poo poo, poo poo. No ma'am. Yeah. So it has pretty much rained every day since we've been back, or it's been that like wet ground, everything is soaking wet kind of rain. When we left, it was still summer. It was hot and warm, and then the weather just changed overnight. So I'm having trouble adjusting, and I don't know where to start. So today I'm in the greenhouse. You can see I've got tomatoes still ripening behind me. There are so many vegetables in the garden right now that I'm like, I don't even know where to start. So what am I starting with? I've got these beautiful coleus cuttings that have rooted up perfectly, that I'm going to spend some time while I chat with y'all. I'm going to pot them up. So look at these roots, right? So I hustled butt before I left on vacation, trying to get everything done. I tried to get most of the crops preserved or canned. I tried to think ahead, okay, what would happen if a frost happened when I was gone? And so I brought things in, I took cuttings of things. So I got a lot of things taken care of, but it's a little overwhelming. My mother did an awesome job of taking care of the homestead while I was gone. So I'm going to be doing this little task today, which I'll show you when I'm done. But I wanted to share some of the fun things that we did on our vacation with you. So we got up at the crack of dawn. No, not the crack of dawn. We got up way before dawn, and we loaded all of us into the van. My in-laws, my mister and me, my daughter and son-in-law, and my granddaughter. And there was no talking. There was no talking. But we drove straight on through to Kentucky. So we were, I mean, we stopped at the rest stops and whatnot. But I think it was like 14 or 16 hours, and my granddaughter she did really, really well, considering it was her first time traveling. So we went to Kentucky, and we rented an Airbnb while we were there. And it was just such a great experience for a big family to stay in a place like that as opposed to a hotel. So the first event of our trip, we went to see the Ark. Right, Noah's Ark, the replica or the life-size replica of Noah's Ark. And people, I have to tell you something. The details of this place and the landscaping rivals that of Disney. I have been to Disney. I've been in awe of their plantings, and holy mackerel, this place was amazing. So inside and out of the Ark, the details, the way they used color, the way they used materials, it was just fantastic. So I highly recommend, if you've never seen it and you happen to be passing through or going to Kentucky, to go visit the Ark. They had an amazing playground like I have never seen before. Oh, here she comes.
Hi.
You can't climb up that. Look at this one. Climb up this one. If I was a 5-year-old, I'd be in heaven.
Or you could be a 30-year-old and go on that zip line.
Oh, I know. I was just saying.
Ready?
Ready? Go. Whee! Hey, wait a minute. Put your feet up. Deliver a message to you. How was that? Honey, you missed me going through the tunnel.
Can you do it again?
I don't think I can. Are you going back through?
Okie dokie. Go to Grandpa.
I see you. Hi.
Hi.
Here's Mimi.
Hi. Are you coming out? We spent a total of 7 hours on the grounds of the Ark. They had a petting zoo and lots of animals to see, as well as their display gardens, which were fantastic. So the next day we get up and we go to the Newport Aquarium, which is also in Kentucky. And it was kind of like one of those things where that wasn't really our goal when we made our itinerary. It just happened to be in our way. And we're like, okay, that'll be a good stop kind of halfway, because we were headed to Ohio. So halfway mark was the Kentucky Aquarium. There's you and me. Say hi. 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 And we ran through the aquarium, okay, because my granddaughter, after having driven all those hours and sitting, there was no sitting. We were running. So we ran through the aquarium. Oh my gosh, that is so weird, Eleanor. I know, both of us are like, here, hold me. You want Mimi's hand? She says, I better get in, Mama. I don't know. Can Mimi do it? Yeah. Right, we're testing it. All right, Dada, come ahead.
It feels very Lieutenant. She's like, it's okay. You see how far down they are? That's how thick the glass is.
Catfish.
That's a big old catfish. He looks delicious. He wants to go to Daddy. Come on, come on.
You got it. You got it. Go get Dada. Go get Dada.
Fantastic aquarium, and highly recommended. Very well done. So outside of the aquarium they had this cute like little village of restaurants and stuff, and so we hung out there for a little while before getting back in the van and heading to Ohio. All right guys, wave. We're leaving Kentucky. Say bye, Jeannie.
Bye.
Yeah, sit over here. So we drove from Kentucky to Ohio, and when we went to Ohio, we're talking the northeast side by Lake Erie, like around that area right there, and that is where my my mother-in-law's family lives. So we stayed with some family while we were there. I had not ever seen Lake Erie before. I've not seen the Great Lakes before, so that was a really nice experience. I mean, it just, I kept calling it the ocean because I live by the ocean, right? Because it looked like the ocean and there were waves like the ocean, and I can't wrap my head around that whole thing, but it was a really cool thing to see. My husband and I, we took a day, just he and I, and we went on a wine tour. Now I like wine. I had not been on a wine tour before. And so that was a great experience for me. And I say just the two of us, but we made new friends while we were there. At least by the second stop we had friends. So we were on a bus with 2 other people. We had a great bus driver. She was super funny, super knowledgeable. She kept everything moving and going, and we made a total of 4 stops, and we picked up some really great wine in Ohio. Ohio knows how to do red wine, people. Connecticut, not so much, but I don't know. Ohio really does it. So highly recommend. There were so many vineyards in Ohio. I highly recommend doing a wine tour if you're ever there. So on my bucket list when we were in Ohio was to go to Lehman's, and I had not been. I watched their videos, and I used to get their catalog. I don't even know if they do a catalog anymore. If you've not ever heard of Lehman's, go ahead and Google them. It is a very cool place, and it is definitely about the homesteading lifestyle. They have everything you could possibly need to do anything you could possibly want to do. They have it there. So I'm going to be doing a full video tour of Lehman's. That's going to be coming in the next few weeks. I have so many hours of editing to do for all of the different little videos I'm going to break out of this. So Lehman's is definitely going to be not a long video, but definitely a video in itself. Oh, and hey people, if you haven't already subscribed to Adventures in Gardening, now is the time. Hit that subscribe button down there. Thanks. So the next stop on our trip was Farm Park, and so this was specifically for little Eleanor, but it was also for me too because I really liked it. So Farm Park is in Ohio. I don't know what town, you'll have to Google it. I don't even know where I was half the time. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know if it was time to eat or time not to eat. I had no idea. But so Farm Park had a lot of farm animals, and so Eleanor got to see like a cow really close, and they were milking the cow, and she loves cows, loves them, because a cow goes moo, and we say that a lot. What does the cow say? Moo, 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 moo. Yeah. So so we got to see big cows, little cows, all different color cows, and goats and pigs and all kinds of fun things. But I will tell you, one of the things that I was in awe of at Farm Park was their hydroponic display. So I'm going to take a minute so I can show you that.
Tomato. Tomato.
Tomato.
It's a butt tomato.
Right? Look at that. Yeah. And then how tall do you think those are, Aaron?
Like 15 feet.
I would say so. Look at, and they're perfect.
Look at that. Look at this.
I know, they're perfect. Okay, so hydroponics, fantastic job. I assume that what they do there is they teach kids about, you know, plant science, and there were other groups there, but you know, we were just there to run through and look at all the animals. So I got to tour a private garden, which will be another separate video. I'm at a loss of words. All I can tell you was this is a man that my father-in-law has met throughout the years, and this guy, wow. I just couldn't even believe that it was his home we were looking at, and his use of statues and water, just amazing. So look for that video soon. And next we were headed to Pennsylvania. So now there's not just 7 of us, there are 9 of us, because we picked up my husband's aunt and his cousin and from Ohio. We brought them down to Pennsylvania, and we had another Airbnb. So here we are in Pennsylvania. Say hi. You say, oh, we're gonna go that way. We're staying at this house. This is the back of the house that we're staying in, right here. It's very pretty, and they have a nice garden, right? They have a pretty garden. What? There's a cornfield over there, right? Very nice. So not only was I impressed by the details in the gardens in the backyard of this place, but the front yard, it was overlooking this beautiful cornfield, and you could just see for miles. And they were picking pumpkins. Now it took everything that I had, people, not to run over there and say, hey, what are you doing, right? Because that's what I would do if I were in my own territory. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? But, you know, I just didn't want to interrupt, and I don't know a lot about the Amish people, and I didn't know where my line was, so I just kept my line on this side of the street. And here comes Piper again. Piper! Come on. Listen, girl. You can sit on the potting bench when I'm done, okay? Yeah. When I start potting. Okay. So, also on my bucket list, but I've seen it before, but there will be a very nice long video of it, is Longwood Garden. And we took the whole family to Longwoods, and I don't care what season it is, they just do such a good job there. So totally enjoy and walking around, and they're building a new huge conservatory. I'll show you in the video. I'm not going to talk anymore about it, but you got to look for that one. So my tour of Longwood's going to be 2 parts because it's so long. So while I was in Pennsylvania, I made friends with somebody through this channel a couple of years ago, and her name is Julie, and I got to go and tour Julie's garden. I've been seeing little pictures and stuff in we have a little Facebook group that she is the admin for over the years, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see her garden. And you know, it's funny because gardeners were like, oh yeah, I mean, there's really nothing to see, because when we are in our gardens, we see work, we see the things that need to be done. And my opinion is every garden, there is something beautiful at any season to be seen, and I thoroughly enjoyed visiting her garden. So that will be a separate video as well. So we went to, we visited this little village. What was it called? Copper Kettle, Kitchen Kettle Village or something like that. It was just this cute little village where it had little shops and little restaurants, and they had this one-man band in there.
Are you gonna dance? You smile? Surprisingly, they're really faking you.
So we had lunch there before we headed out to Sight and Sound. Now, I've been to Sight and Sound before, and we saw, what did we see? We saw Moses. So this time we saw David. And man, I'll tell you, what a great job. Fantastic. It was a great show. We thoroughly loved it. So the next morning was the very long ride home. Actually, it really wasn't that bad, because from Pennsylvania to back to Connecticut, it was only like 5.5 hours, but still it was 5.5 hours, and we put so many miles sitting on our rear, you know, in the van, that it was still a big deal. But it was really great. The storm, the Hurricane Ian, was in front of us. We got the rain and the winds here in Connecticut, but not the storm. So I'm sitting in the car watching it on my phone as it's staying offshore the whole time, and it's just in front of us. So we actually didn't get any of the heavy rains on the way home, which was fantastic. I mean, it sprinkled the whole time, but it was really very smooth. We hit very little traffic. And then when we got home, to say my dogs were excited to see me, whoa! Oh my goodness. Hey! Hi! I know it! I know! Let me see you! Oh, I know! How dare I? Annabelle was beside herself for like an hour. She was telling me, she would just lift her head up and like scold me. How dare you leave me for so long? My mom did such a great job of making of them every time she came in the house. So she did a great job of taking care of them. She took care of the bunny, she took care of the chickens, she picked the tomatoes, and speaking of which, she said to me, she left me this little note. She's like, I don't know how you keep up with it all. And it kind of made me feel good, because I'm like, yeah, I try. I actually don't do too good of a job at sometimes keeping up with it, but yeah, there's a lot to do around here. But she maintained it, and here I am standing here wondering what to do next. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pot up my coleus and probably take some cuttings from my scented geranium that are behind me. And thanks for listening to me, but look for those videos of the full-length videos of the things that kind of pertain to either gardening or the gardening lifestyle in the next few weeks, because I'll be busy editing. So thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this little video, and please subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.